My name is Tariq Masri, and I am the principal bassoonist of the Alabama Symphony Orchestra, and I've been in the orchestra for 21 years.
My name is Mayumi Masri. I am the assistant concertmaster of the Alabama Symphony Orchestra, and I've been here for 21 years.
We're best friends, so we get to spend time together, and I think a lot of couples don't get to do that, and we actually enjoy it. An old-fashioned thing to say, but it's true. It really is true. I mean, we love driving to work together, listening to Mitsuko Uchida, or talking about yesterday's concert, or driving home from rehearsal, talking about what went right, what went wrong. Spending time together is always awesome.
To add to that, we have a daughter who's 11 years old, who loves music. And so whenever we have concerts, we get to take her to concerts, and she sits in the audience. So we're all part of the same experience. Some of the things that make it hard is the fact that, yes, we do go to work together, and that means that nobody can stay home with our daughter. So when she was younger, we had to have a person who was able to come to our house for multiple hours a day and take care of her. We didn't do daycare. We had to figure out babysitting. So that was probably the hardest part, is having a child, figure out who's going to take care of her when we're at work. One of the fun things that can happen at work, even though we don't sit in the same section, something funny will happen at work and I can catch his eye and we immediately know what the other person is thinking. So that's kind of a fun communication that we have, just catching each other's eye. Yeah.
The role of an orchestra in a community is to enrich that community, to contribute to it artistically in ways that other artistic institutions can't, to provide an artistic product that reveals itself in time. And every piece of art is different depending on when you're viewing it because of the humans presenting it on the stage. If you come on a Saturday, it might be different than Friday's performance, just as an example.
Well, I think having an orchestra and community is very important. It's a way for people to come together and have an experience together. And I feel that music is so important for people to have so that they can get emotions out. Classical music is just so important to have so that people can continue the tradition of listening to live music and having experiences that can only happen in the concert hall. You never know what's going to happen on the stage for a live performance.
I think classical music is relevant today because in our age of social media and connectivity, many studies have shown that it's actually making people farther apart, and classical music really is something that connects people. And if you think about somebody watching Beethoven 9 in the Musikverein and somebody watching Beethoven 9 in the Alice Stevens Center, they're experiencing the same thing. It may be a different time. Maybe the Vienna performance is on a Saturday morning and maybe the Alabama performance is on a Friday night, but they're experiencing the same piece of art. And for some of the people, the emotions that this piece elicits will be the same as that stranger that they don't even know. And that's a pretty special thing, I think.
I think classical music is still relevant today because these are master works, pieces that were written 300, 400 years ago. And the fact that they're still being played today is a testament to how amazing tradition can be passed on. The fact that a symphony that was composed in the 1700s is still played in the 2000s is just amazing. And to be able to experience it live and have your emotions in the moment, even though those notes on the page were composed 300 years ago, is just something that you can only experience if you're there in person.
I remember reading in a book that my mom bought me for Christmas when I was a kid. It talked about how with classical music, the cream really rises to the top. As wonderful as pop music can be, with classical music, it's always only the best of the best and the excellence that survives. And there's a plethora of examples. And again, bringing it back to pop music, there are few examples. Of course, there are there, but not on the level of classical music with you just take one period and there may be 5 to 6 masters.
I would tell our audience members that they are the most important thing to us. We've been playing our instruments our entire lives, for myself since I was 4 years old. And the reason I play is to share my love of music with our audience. And so when I'm performing on stage, I often love to look outside into the audience and see who's out there and make even eye contact with some people and just show my appreciation for them even being there to support our art. I would say we want to share our love with you, and we would not be here without you in the audience.
I was starved for sports at the beginning of the pandemic. It was just unbelievable. And when baseball came back, there were no people in the stands. It was a very surreal experience to watch a game, and you could see cardboard cutouts. I have one of my daughter over there. And the players were talking about how it was very difficult to play with no fans. And for us, the audience, they are the fans. It really is a huge component to what we do, is to feel the energy of the audience. And obviously, the more people that are there, the higher the energy is. And it just imbues you with your own energy that hopefully you can reflect back to the audience. So I think it's huge.